Report story. Izuku and Bakugo took in their surroundings. The trees here had lightened pink leaves, falling at an unnaturally slow speed. The leaves danced peacefully to unnaturally calm wind. The light rays doing a deer and doe stood around, walking through the trees, grazing peacefully just as the first did. However, fear did not consume the creatures when their eyes laid upon the two teenagers. However, it was the structure in the center that the two had been focusing on. A simple stone path weaved its way to the center of the pink wooded area, leading right to the staircase of an old shrine. Bakugo and Izuku walked slowly down the stone path. Izuku took in the breathtaking sight, taking a quick glance at Bakugo. Bakugo seemed at ease, even surprised by the sight. Izuku smiled to himself. Bakugo really did have a soft spot for scenery and nature. Too bad he would revert back to normal when they headed back. What the hell is this? Bakugo mumbled under his breath. The two had made it to the gateway of the shrine. The gate's slightly open. I dunno if we're allowed in though. But that light. Hey, Ka-chan. Izuku called out as Bakugo pushed the gate open. Shut it, nerd. We were clearly called here, he said, taking a few steps in, taking a look around. Ka-chan. We don't know that. It could have been a coincidence, Izuku said. However, he followed Bakugo in nervously. As the two walked up to the shrine, Izuku took in the architecture. Wooden, covered in a deep red paint. Thought the wood seemed ancient, the shrine seemed in perfect condition. Bakugo put his hand to the wood and felt it. Ka-chan, Izuku said, not feeling as though they should touch anything. So, what the hell do you want with us? Bakugo said, slightly menacingly, ignoring Izuku and looking up the few stairs leading to the shrine's doors. Izuku raised an eyebrow and looked up where Bakugo was looking, his face contorting to seriousness when he saw a girl, around their age, sat atop the stairs. Izuku frowned. She most certainly wasn't there before, and he hadn't heard her move there. Katsuki, Bakugo-in, the girl said, not directly looking at either one of them. Her eyes were closed. Midoriya, Izuku, how the fuck do you know our names, girl? Bakugo said, now fully facing her. Izuku looked at Bakugo with slight irritation. Ka-chan, calm down, Izuku said, his confident side taking over. As strange as this was, the girl hadn't done anything to deserve anger or defense towards her. Yet, shut the hell up, you're just gonna go along with this. Bakugo said, angrily. Izuku nodded. Well, we are the ones that followed and then burst in, Izuku said. Izuku turned to face up the stairs, but the girl had vanished. He looked down slightly to see she was now in front of him. Nose to nose, in front of him. Izuku yelped, blushing bright red, falling to the ground. Are you okay? Did I scare you? She asked, loftily. DDD, don't do that, please. A few feet's distance would be nice. Izuku stuttered out. He had his loyalty to protect and guard. Oi, don't get so close to me, weirdo, Bakugo said. Izuku looked at Bakugo. He seemed to be talking to the same girl he was. But no one was in front of him. Ka-chan. The girl is right here, Izuku said, pointing upwards since he was still on the ground. An angry Bakugo looked his way. Why is your ass on the ground? And what are you talking about? No one is there, dumbass, he yelled. Izuku looked and the girl was gone once again. Izuku stood. Promoted stories. You'll also like. Symbol of Hope Izuku X Hair. Named weapon of a true hero. This is the old version. The new rewrite can be found in Archive of Our Own, under a new name. Red Halo heroes today are corrupted by. Dot. The paths he chooses. Book 1. A fate a few. S. A normal day for Izuku as he completes his normal routine and goes to school. Along the way he runs into Yui Kodai, a quiet and mysterious girl of class 1B, they E. The life of 0. 17.2K 486 Izuku. Midoriya wanted to be a hero his whole life and was bullied for it since he was quirkless. Izuku Midoriya was told that he would never get a quirk by his doctor. Dreamscape 365K 10.3 KYN has been trapped for most of her life, used as a tool for others' gain. Her quirk was fabricated to be used as the perfect weapon, a weapon to help in stealing other. Golden, Hispanic, Latina. Femme. Reader. Ex-Izuku. Heiress to the richest company in the world. The government of Japan has good relationships with your grandfather. It was the duty of the government to save. Feel fear, my dear Sordo. The quirkless lion unseen power. S1N. Kurayami has always lived in the shadows, pretending to be quirkless in a world that reveres power. Her secret isn't weakness, it's Mindwev, a terrifying ability. You guys, you needed help. I noticed it when you first entered this forest. The girls, they seem fine. Except for the brown haired one. Something's on her mind. But you too. The girl was suddenly appeared in front of Izuku's face, nose to nose again, her face to his, but her feet and body aimed towards the sky. Izuku, now focusing more on her quirk than her closeness, stared at the girl. Her eyes were still closed. She had a simple white dress on, plain as possible, her long whitish blonde hair flowing a little bit. Was she? You were right, Izuku-kun. I am an illusion, she said airily, the illusion dissipating. But not in the way you would think I am. Show yourself. Bakugo yelled, now getting more irritated. Izuku, now standing up, wondered if Bakugo saw something different than his own. I can only come to you. In the form of these illusions. You, however, may come to me. The voice surrounded them softly now, no physical body to connect it to. The door to the shrine was now opened, but the two never heard the sliding of wood against wood. Izuku walked, however he saw Bakugo about to rush in there. Izuku put an arm out to Bakugo's chest. Walk, Izuku said. Bakugo clicked his tongue and pushed Izuku's arm away. Don't tell me what to do. The two slowly walked into the shrine. The shrine was empty for the most part, wooden floors and detailed wooden architecture on the sides. Against the furthest wall were the centerpieces, covered in gold and brays, decorated vases and other sorts. However, on each side of the centerpiece was a wooden staircase. Please, proceed. The two teens each took a staircase. The staircases lead to the same place, a small room with a bed against the center, seemingly protruding. The room seemed clean and well kept. A little girl, however, lay asleep in the bed, the same white blonde hair, her pale clear skin, sleeping peacefully. I will show you the truth. I've never shown anyone this. The illusion disappeared. Izuku and Bakugo's eyes grew wide. Oi, what the hell is this? He said. What is going on here? Izuku asked slowly, his pupils literally quivering. The room suddenly became dusty, the wood rotting away. The girls' blankets torn and chewed. The room had spider webs all along the top. However, both of their attentions were on the state of the little girl. She looked like a skeleton. Her skin and hair looked dead and lifeless. Her eyes were still closed. Dust covered her body. Hey, are you okay? Izuku said, coming to his senses, running to his bedside. The girl didn't respond. You're not scared, the girl's voice said, surrounding them, the physical body's lips not moving. Izuku took a closer look. Her chest was rising and falling. Barely. Not at all. You need help. Where are your parents? Friends? Anyone? Izuku asked, looking around, but nothing was there. No food. No water. How was she alive? You're a kind person, Izuku-kun. You too, Katsuki-kun. The voice said. Bakugo hadn't said anything, but his eyes of worry said it all. Suddenly the room and the air turned back to its illusioned state of cleanliness. Izuku-kun, the girl's voice said. Izuku was still staring down at the girl's body with concern. It looked healthy once again, but Izuku now knew the truth. He couldn't just ignore it under a false figure. Izuku-kun, the girl said again. Suddenly Izuku felt a touch on his hand. His eyes grew wide as he looked to his side. The girl was standing next to him, holding his hand. Izuku blinked and turned back towards the body in the bed. There were two of them. But one was an illusion. So how could he feel this one? Izuku yelped again and pulled his hand back, taking a few steps back. How can I feel you? Aren't you an illusion? Izuku asked. Izuku's brain was starting to malfunction. The girl chuckled, her eyes still closed. Not exactly an illusion, more like a different reality, she said loftily with a soft smile. Bakugo, who was on the other side of the bed, was looking in a different direction than Izuku, staring at nothing. She was in both of their heads. Izuku thought about what was happening for a second. This is your quirk, isn't it? He asked, his eyes lighting up. The girl nodded. My name, she said before disappearing. Suddenly she appeared at the stairs entryway. Bakugo and Izuku both looked at the stair entrance. Both of them looked at each other and then back at her. She was showing them both the same thing this time. My name is Oshagiri, Hima. I am a descendant to the owners of this place, Oshagiri Shrine. My quirk, as with the other members of my family, are similar in nature. That quirk is reality. Suddenly, the room vanished, the space they were in now void, though dark colors seemed to float around. Izuku and Bakugo looked around. Bakugo seemed confused, never having seen this before. Izuku, however, Oshagiri, how do you know about one for all? Bakugo looked at Izuku, and then back at the girl, seriousness covering his face. The girl softly smiled at the two. Overseer, the original quirk of my family. Oshagiri started. That quirk allowed for a user's consciousness to be perceived as anywhere. If there was a wall between us, a brick wall suddenly appeared between them. I can still technically be there. I could see, hear, and observe everything that happened on the other side, as if I was looking in. The quirk evolved as the generations went on. Usually the quirk stayed the same, only minute changes occurring to it. However, with the quirk manifested differently. It evolved into a new quirk. Reality. I can manipulate thoughts, affect a person's sight and senses, even read their mind to a certain degree. The part of reality the is still overseer has gotten strong enough to where I can even put my consciousness in the thoughts of others. Izuku gawked at the power of the quirk. It was strangely similar to One for All, except this was all genetic. That's amazing, Oshagiri. That's an amazing quirk. I don't like the idea of someone in my head, Bakugo said, putting his hands in his pockets. Get out. Bakugo suddenly disappeared from. Izuku thought about that one. Ka-chan has a point, Oshagiri. The thought of someone constantly in my head is. Izuku saw the look on Oshagiri's face. It's the first sign of real emotion he had seen from her. My quirk. People are afraid of it. They think I lie, or that I can control them. Some think I'm always in their heads, always watching. It gets lonely. My family died in hero work, not wanting to follow the shrine tradition. No one wanted to take care of me or the shrine. I was left here. How I'm alive, I'm not sure. Reality. Maybe I can alter physical reality a bit. But not much. No one wants me around. Izuku's face filled with agony. How long have you been here? He asked. A little over a decade. She responded. I can tell. You wouldn't do anything to hurt people, would you? Izuku said with a smile. The girl's eyes lit up. She shook her head vigorously. I just don't wanna be alone. Izuku smiled. You aren't alone anymore. The girl's eyes suddenly filled with tears. She ran at Izuku and hugged him around the waist. Izuku turned red and waved his arms around a bit. Oshagiri. AAB bit too close. Ochaka will kill me. That girl, she's on the mountain right, at the cabin. It's faint, but I sense her. She asked curiously. Yup, and I want you to meet her. And Ka-chan will come around. Eri will love to have a new person to talk to as well. But, how will I meet them? She asked. Izuku thought about that for a second. Oshagiri, can you take us out of One for All? I have an idea. Where stories live. Discover now.